Last time out was a Sebastian 4-2-3-1. This time we're trying his 4-3-3 vertical Tiki Taka style. Let's check it out. As I said last time, we did try the Sebastian 4-2-3-1 tactic, and it worked wonders for our three teams. Newcastle coming in tops of the league, with Tottenham and Wolves basically 5th and 6th, so not doing too bad themselves. This time, though, as you can see, it is a Sebastian 4-3-3 vertical Tiki Taka. So you have the tactical style of Tiki Taka. It is a positive mentality. You start out with a sweeper keeper in support, 2 wingbacks in support, ball-playing defenders in defend, just like last time. But this time, a deep line playmaker in support, a Mazzala in attack, and a box-to-box in support, 2 inside forwards on support, and then a complete forward in attack. This time, I do have the tactic. I do have the link in the description below, so definitely check it out. In possession, you have attacking width is fairly narrow, a patch play is not even in there, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, low crosses, work the ball in the box, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and roll it out. And then out of possession, high press line of engagement, higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and drop off more. Unfortunately, it did not work as well as the Sebastian 4-2-3-1 tactic did. Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, all in the top 4 spots. However, Newcastle does come in 5th, Tottenham in 6th, and Wolves in 11th. So Tottenham and Wolves, pretty much where you would expect them. Newcastle, 68 points. I mean, it's on the higher side of average, but still definitely nowhere near the 84 points, I believe, that they got in the last tactic. Yeah, it's still, if you like the 4-3-3, it is something to start with. I'm sure that there are better tactics out there to start with, but it gives you a starting point that you can build from there. Newcastle, Liverpool. I mean, they cannot beat Liverpool at the start of the season. 1-6 is an awful start. However, the rest of August, fantastic. A loss to Fulham, a loss to Tottenham, a loss to Manchester United, the only other losses in the first half of the season. They continue on in the FA Cup, the EFL Cup, all the way to the FA Cup 4th round, where they lose out at home to Aston Villa 1-0. But EFL Cup final to Manchester City 1-3 in extra time, and you're out. And then from that point on, all the way up till May, it is looking actually pretty awful. May you really pick it up and do a fantastic job. 6-4 to Fulham. Wow. Tottenham definitely having a bit of a spottier run. 2 losses in the first month, another one in September, but 5-1 over Dortmund. Wow. Champions League, you're doing fairly well. But the second half of October, you got 2 draws and a loss. Not great. But overall, I mean, you're continuing on in all cup competitions. 5-0 over Millwall. I mean, I guess it's not that hard sometimes. EFL Cup semifinal, you do lose out 0-2. The EFL Cup second leg, 2-3 to Newcastle. FA Cup, though, you're continuing on. Champions League round of 16, first leg against Frankfurt. 1-1 draw against Frankfurt, and you're out of the Champions League at the round of 16. You do have some spotty times, but you come out away with a cup final in the FA Cup 2-0 against Brentford. Again, a cup final is a cup final, and the FA Cup is a big one, so it is a fantastic result. But I guess I just wish you could have done a little bit better in the league and the Champions League, but still, a cup final is a cup final. And then Wolves, a lot more spotty, as you would expect. A lot of losses. You have a fantastic October, though. But EFL Cup round, you continue on. EFL Cup quarterfinals is where you drop out to Arsenal 1-2. FA Cup, you continue on until the quarters against Manchester United, 2-2 in penalties. And then you have a nice run of 4, but everything else is completely red. And does not look all that great. Transfer-wise for Newcastle, Douglas Santos is the big one in January from Zenit, 25.5. However, you do have Stanislav Lobotka from Napoli for 32 million. Looks like right at the January transfer window deadline. So, but everything else is pretty much what we've seen. Tottenham picking up Pikhalionok from Dnipro, 2.7 million right at the end of the transfer window. And then Herving Lozano from Napoli on loan, 1.3 million. Grilic from Ajax, 16.5 in the January transfer window. Some players I haven't heard from, but selling Lucas Moura to Lyon for 4.6 in the January transfer, right at the start of the transfer window too. Wolves Tormena from Braga for 11.5. They're actually spending some money, only on the single player though. You'll see that Wolves throughout all these tactic talks really don't have a lot to it. but they do get rid of Daniel Podence to Sassuolo for 12 million, so they did bring in some money. Every now and again, I completely forget to bring you the squad page. So here's the squad numbers. You could see for Newcastle, 747 for Isaac. Fantastic result there. 770 in the last 5. Tottenham having a similar, well, actually a bit more in the green, 727 for Harry Kane. Not too bad. The last 5, though, not great. Wolves, you still have some in the green, not as many as the other two. 740 for Cunha in the last 5, though. He seems to be one of the only ones picking it up in the last couple of matches. Data hub wise, as you can see, pretty much shaky defensively, and even Wolves are weak defensively. Attacking wise, generally okay. Some are good in attack. Attacking numbers are not too bad. At least they're over the Premier League average for the most part. Dribbles per game, not so much. The team defending, though, clearances per game, blocks per game, interceptions per game, all underneath the Premier League average. Fouls per game, right at the kind of a little bit below, which is not too bad to see on that part. But everything else, really, you definitely want to see a lot higher for those. Premier League stats, Newcastle and Tottenham in the top 4 with goals, 72 and 76, pretty far off from the 91 and 90 for Manchester City and Liverpool. However, it looks like they had a fantastic year, so I am not too unhappy about those. A few shots against Tottenham and Newcastle in there. Most possession, all 3 teams right there. Most dribbles made, nobody, as you would expect. Fewest conceded, Newcastle only, and then Newcastle in the most shutouts. Most tackles won, all 3 teams, so that's actually defensively not too bad. Best pass to completion, though, Tottenham and Wolves. Newcastle nowhere to be seen. Most shots for Newcastle and Tottenham, and then most points per game, as you'd expect. Most goals, Isaac with 24 and Kane with 21, so putting in some good attacking efforts. And then most assists, Kulusevski, Trippier, Almiron, St. Maximin, Son, all in there with 10s and 11s. Fantastic job there. Really spreading it out. Most player of the match awards, 9 player of the match awards for Isaac. Passing completion, you got a couple. Most dribbling, you got St. Maximin in there. Fewest conceded, Pope. Shutouts, you got Pope and Lloris. Most tackles, 1, Nori and Almiron. Most key passes, Trippier's the only one in there with 97. Not too far off from Christian Eriksen. Most shots, Isaac with 109. Wow. Holland with a whopping 200. Isaac for Newcastle, player stats, 29 goals in all competitions. 747 highest average rating. St. Maximin with 14 assists total. And then Isaac with 11 player of the match awards. Harry Kane doing a great job with 33 goals. Kane with 727 average rating. Son with 19 assists. A fantastic result there. And then Son with 9 player of the match awards. Raul Jimenez and Cunha splitting the difference on the top goal scorer with 13. Nunez with 705 highest average rating. Sarabi with 11 assists. Cunha with 4 player of the match awards. Not a great tally there, but not, I mean, I guess it's on the average for him. But overall, as we've seen, Newcastle and Tottenham coming in 5th and 6th. So Europa League spots, not too bad. Wolves in 11th. I mean, fairly average. I definitely would not say that this tactic did not work at all. However, it did not come close to the other Sebastian tactic that we just tried. But still, you got Newcastle and Tottenham in Europa spots. Not a bad result there. Probably on the higher side of average to average, but still. I mean, it's one to take a look at if you like the 4-3-3, and you can kind of tweak it to how you want it. But that is it for me, Sebastian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.